Jorge Bartolome Vargas y Celis, or George B. Vargas, was a lawyer, businessman, sportsman, civic leader, philanthropist, and of course, one of the founders in the Boy Scouts of the Philippines. He was born in Baguio City, Negros Occidental, on August 24, 1890. Being the eldest son of Angel Vargas Tionco of Molo, Iloilo City, and Filomena Celis Trinidad of Bago, Negros Occidental. He learned his first letters under the private tutorship of Eustaquio Torres in Bago. Later went to Bago Public School in year 1899 in Colegio de Niño de Bago under Emiliano Trinidad. Kabangkalan Public School in year 1902 and Rizal Institute in Bacolod High School in year 1903 to 1909, being valedictorian of the first graduating class. While a student in the University of the Philippines, in the Philippine Carnival Essay Contest in year 1909, he won the prize consisting of W.E. Retenas Vida y Escritos de Jose Rizal. In the same year, he became a member of the Junior Philippine Assembly in year 1909 to 1910. He qualified in the Pensionado competitive examination in 1914 but was not sent to the United States due to lack of funds. He was appointed Law Clerk Philippines Commission on January year 1915, a private secretary to Commissioner Jaime C. de Vera in 1915, a private secretary to the Secretary of Commerce and Police in January year 1916, private secretary to the Interior in September 1916, chief clerk, Department of Interior upon the recognition of the Executive Department in 1917, a legislative secretary of Speaker Sergio Osmeña, House of Representatives in May 1917 to 1918. Vargas was commissioned Major, Judge, Advocate General's Department in Philippine National Guard in 1917, Aide and Secretary to President Manuel L. Quezon as Chairman of Mission and Executive Secretary, First Philippine Independence Mission in 1918 to 1919, a Secretary to President Manuel L. Quezon in January 1920. In 1941, Vargas was appointed Acting Secretary of National Defense during the term of President Manuel L. Quezon, Mayor of the City of Greater Manila in 1942, Chairman of the Philippine Executive Commission in 1942 to 1943. He became Ambassador to Japan 1943 to 1945, Chairman of the National Planning Commission in 1946 to 1954, and a member of the Board of Regents, University of the Philippines in year 1961 to 65. Mr. Vargas' business connections and interests including the following: President of the Bilalbagan Sugar State in 1936 to 1940, a President of the Kawilihan Corporations, President of the George B. Vargas Incorporated, in President of the American Visit Co. Incorporation, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Imperial Hotel, Hong Kong, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Atlantic Pacific Corporation, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Rec Food Industries Corporation, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Services Ultra Marketing Corporation. As a sports enthusiast, He was a charter member of the Philippine Amateur Athletic Federation and a member of its executive committee in year 1918 to 1928. Its vice president in 1929 to 35, its president in 1935 to year 1955. Representative of the Philippines in the First Congress of Asian Games Federation in New Delhi in year 1950, President of the Asian Games Federation in 1950 to 1954, member of its Executive Committee in 1954 to 58, and honorary president of the same for life. He was elected a member of the International Olympic Committee since 1936. When Judge Manuel Camus died, the burden of the presidency of growing Boy Scout movement in the Philippines was taken over by Jorge B. Vargas. He held the post of President and Chief Scout until 1960. Mr. Vargas' connection with the local scouting movement dates back as far as 1935. On that year, he became a member of the Executive Board of the Philippine Council, Boy Scouts of America. Together with the other 6 incorporators of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, he was greatly instrumental in the passage and subsequent approval of Commonwealth Act No. 111. Upon approval of this bill, he was elected first Vice President of the BSP. In year 1941, when Colonel Steve did not have to take an extensive leave from the organization, he was designated acting president. BSP President Vargas had served as a member of the Boy Scouts International Committee. From this body, he was awarded the Bronze Wolf Award from his distinguished and meritorious services in the promotion of the international scouting. He also a holder of the highest scouting awards from a number of foreign countries. From Canada, he received the Silver Fox Award. The British Boy Scouts Association awarded him the Silver Wolf, and from Japan, he was recipient of the White Eagle Award. Mr. Vargas was not only active in many of his organizations, but was one of the original founders of the Boy Scout movement in the Philippines. He was as International Commissioner, a member of the Boy Scout International Committee, head of the Philippine contingents to the Boy Scout World's Jamboree held in Switzerland, Canada, England, Japan, and Philippines. President and Chief Scout of the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, and President of the 10th World Jamboree in the Philippines. Mr. Vargas was a most decorated man with the following decorations, awards, and titles. Most Distinguished Alumnus of the University of the Philippines in 1937, First Order of Merit of the Meiji Decoration and Grand Cordon of the Rising Sun in Japan, Colegial de Honor, Colegio de Guadalupe in Spain, and Philippine Legion of Honor in rank of Commander, one of the highest decorations of the Philippine government. Mr. Vargas was married twice, with his first wife, Marina Yulo of Iloilo City. He had 8 children: George Jr., Angel Federico, Gregorio Roberto, Lourdes Filomena, Eduardo Mariano, Ramon Teodoro, Teresita Carolina, and Maria Luisa. He had no children by his second wife, Adelaida Peña y Moltilla of Isabela Negros Occidental. On March 1, 1978, Mr. Jorge B. Vargas bequeathed his collection of art, stamps, and coins in his library, personal papers, and memorabilia to his alma mater in the University of the Philippines. In year 1983, the University of the Philippines laid the cornerstones for a building that would house Mr. Vargas' collection, originally displayed in a private museum located in the premises of his residence at the Kawilihan compound in Mandaluyong. The transfer of the objects to the Diliman campus began in year 1986. The museum building was formally inaugurated by then President Corazon C. Aquino on February 22, year 1987. Vargas was awarded the Bronze Wolf in 1959 and received other awards including the Silver Tamaraw, the Silver Fox, Silver Ibex, Silver Wolf, and in 1959 also received the highest distinction of the Scout Association of Japan, the Golden Pheasant Award. He also became the first recipient of the Tanglaw ng Kabataan, Light of the Youth Award of the BSP in year 1961. Jorge V. Vargas died on February 22nd in year 1980 in Manila, Philippines at the age of 89.